They took the one person he ever truly cared about. What they did not know is that the quiet, unassuming man they left behind was hiding a capability that no human being on this planet possesses. And the moment they walked out of that door with her, they did not just make an enemy. They created the most dangerous man they will ever face. And they have absolutely no idea what is coming. The story begins with a man named Nathan. He works as an assistant manager at a small credit union in San Diego, processing loan applications and genuinely rooting for every single person who sits across from him. He is the kind of quiet guy who shows up on time and lives his own kind of life. But Nathan has a secret, and this secret is the reason for every single decision he has ever made, every relationship he has avoided, and every moment of ordinary life he has watched from a careful, measured distance. The secret is that he cannot feel pain. But this is not incredible at all because Nathan sets alarms every few hours just to remind himself to use the bathroom because his body gives him no signal. He lives on liquids because eating could mean biting his own tongue without even noticing. He was also told by doctors that he would only live for 25 years, but he has beaten the odds. Even so, every single day is a quiet fight just to stay in one piece. And because of this, he has to live while avoiding ordinary life. But one woman by the name of Sherry changes all of that. She works at the same credit union, but her personality is completely different from Nathan's. The story between them starts when Nathan accidentally spills himself hot coffee. And this was Sherry's unintentional fault. To apologize, she invites him to lunch and he agrees. During lunch, Nathan opens up about his condition to Sherry while explaining to her why he couldn't eat a pie. But she encourages him to eat it and Nathan has never had pie before. He really likes it. Sherry then invites him to an art show, but Nathan is worried that he might mess it up. After some encouragement from an online gamer friend, he decides to go. Everything turns out perfect, and they enjoy each other's company until Nathan's school bully approaches them and starts calling him by his nickname Novocaine, which they used to call him back in middle school because of his condition, reminding him that he is different from other people. Nathan, as usual, goes quiet, but Sherry does not. Without a scene or a confrontation, she calmly tricks the bully into drinking hot sauce, then sits back and watches him suffer with a completely straight face. In that small, funny moment, something inside Nathan that had been shut for a very long time quietly opens up. That night, they go to Nathan's place and share brief, ordinary, but beautiful moments. Nathan's life starts to feel like it is becoming something real. The next morning, Nathan is very happy and in high spirits, but this does not last long. That same morning, 3 armed robbers disguised as Santa Claus attack the credit union where Nathan works. The robbery turns violent when Nigel, Nathan's boss, refuses to give Simon, the robbers' leader, the vault code. Simon shoots him, making sure every single person in that room understands that he is serious. Nathan, as the assistant manager, is forced to give the code in order to save Sherry and the others. Soon, the police arrive, and to escape, the robbers kidnap Sherry and take her hostage. A shootout explodes between the police and the robbers through the building and onto the streets. Simon and his crew manage to escape. When the smoke clears, Nathan realizes Sherry is also gone. The robbers took her with them. And at that moment, Nathan stops being the man who is always careful and manages his condition from a comfortable distance. Devastated and unwilling to wait for the police, Nathan decides to rescue her himself despite having no combat experience. He steals a police car and a gun and drives into danger alone. That's what we call the power of love. He tracks one of the robbers, a man named Ben, to a restaurant, and a fierce fight breaks out. Nathan's inability to feel pain becomes an advantage. Ben is dangerous and fights back hard, but fighting a determined man who cannot feel pain becomes a challenge. Nathan takes hits that would drop anyone else, but he keeps pushing. At one point, a gun ends up in a deep fryer full of boiling oil, and Nathan reaches his hand in and pulls it out without hesitation before shooting Ben and killing him. His burned hand does not stop him, and he keeps moving. Through the help of a gamer friend named Roscoe, he gets a lead from a tattoo on Ben's arm and tracks down the artist, a man named Zeno. After a fierce fight with the big guy, Zeno, Nathan, manages to get Ben's last name. Using his skills as a credit union manager, he runs a credit check on Ben as a fake client and gets his home address. At Ben's house, Nathan learns that the robbers had taken Sherry to an auto shop. However, the house is booby-trapped. Nathan walks straight into a trap and ends up hanging upside down, completely stuck. In desperation, he calls Roscoe for help. But before his friend can arrive, Ben's brother, Andre, shows up looking for Ben and turns his attention to Nathan. Andre learns that his brother is already dead and that Nathan was responsible. Nathan uses a clever trick to avoid being killed on the spot, and what follows is torture. Again, Nathan cleverly fakes pain, despite being incapable of feeling it. Roscoe finally arrives, and together they overpower Andre. The police arrive and arrest Roscoe, but Nathan manages to escape. Nathan finally tracks Simon and Sherry to an auto shop, and this is where he discovers the shocking truth. Simon reveals that Sherry is his adoptive sister and that the heist was planned. Sherry was supposed to get close to Nathan and learn the vault code. She was not supposed to fall in love with him. This revelation crushes Nathan. The relationship he believed was genuine now seems like a lie. However, the situation is more complicated than it seems. Although Sherry participated in the plan, she never expected Simon's actions to become so violent. As the robbery spiraled out of control, she regretted her involvement, and her feelings for Nathan were real. Simon does not care, and he turns on Nathan. A brutal confrontation follows, and Nathan endures enormous physical punishment while trying to stop Simon. The injuries he accumulates become life-threatening. A police officer by the name of Coltrane arrives and shoots Simon before he can kill Sherry. Nathan, badly injured, is arrested and taken to an ambulance ready to transport him to the hospital. But Simon, still wounded, shoots Coltrane dead and wounds his partner, Mincy, before escaping in an ambulance with Nathan. Upon learning that Simon has taken control of the ambulance, Nathan dislocates his own thumb and frees himself from the handcuffs. He grabs a defibrillator and uses it on Simon, causing the ambulance to crash. These two seem to be made of steel. They begin fighting again in the wreckage on the side of the road. The heartless Simon breaks Nathan's arm during the fight, but Nathan does not stop. Then, Sherry arrives. She attacks Simon, buying Nathan just enough time, and Nathan uses his broken arm to finally kill Simon. Nathan collapses and loses consciousness from his injuries. He wakes up 2 weeks later in the hospital, covered in a full body cast after being placed in a medically induced coma. He had practically broken almost all of his bones and lost a lot of blood. It is a miracle that he survived. Despite his actions being recognized as heroic, he still faces legal consequences and is given 6 months of house arrest and 5 years of probation for stealing a police car and everything that followed. Sherry is also in prison for her involvement in the robbery. 1 year later, Nathan is sitting in a prison visiting room with Sherry across from him. He brings her a slice of pie, showing that he has forgiven her despite what she did, that their love did not die, and that he is willing to wait for her during the remaining 8 months of her sentence. That's it, guys. If you enjoyed this recap, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and drop a comment below. Would you have forgiven Sherry? I genuinely want to know. See you in the next one.